Hello, everyone. Welcome to MTL Sports here on episode 178. We got a lot of news to go over today. We're going to stay in AFC for our division previews. We got the AFC West today. Just as jam-packed as AFC North, in my opinion. We got the Chiefs, got the Chargers, got the Raiders, you got the Broncos, all teams that, can make some noise. Plus, we got some breaking news from today involving the UFC. So we will definitely hop into that. But first, guys, let's get into this. Stay tuned. We're back. Let's get into this. We got some breaking news from earlier today. Great breaking news, in my opinion. This is UFC. TKO is making moves. Last week we didn't touch on it, but WWE is moving to ESPN Plus starting in 2026. So all of next year, you'll get your WrestleMania, your Elimination Chamber, all those live PLEs are going to go to ESPN Plus. And I think some of them will be simulcast on ESPN as well. So I think it's a huge get for ESPN, mainly because of because of the news that dropped today. But starting off on WWE moving to ESPN Plus, like how do you feel about that, Lawrence? It's going to be on ESPN sometimes. It's going to be simulcast on ESPN Plus as well. Plus, the new streaming service is taking into effect. So, how are your thoughts?
I'm still questioning it, to be honest. I'm not really a fan. I think it's doing a whole lot to be able to watch WWE events, whereas on Peacock, I think what is it for Peacock? The Peacock subscription, like $7.99 a month.
It's going up. It's going up to I think basically I think $13.99. Peacock's going up a lot.
I mean, ESPN Plus by itself is $11 now, and then now Hulu is pretty much being bought out by Disney. So that there's no telling what they're going to do to ESPN because of that. So, personally, not a fan. Honestly, I try to tend to be away from the Disney brand as much as possible. Now that they're buying out Hulu, I'm totally jumping ship to YouTube TV, and probably so I can get myself a better deal on Sunday Ticket. Anyways, to be honest, and then I already pay for Paramount as it is, and UFC coming to Paramount. Now I don't have to pay for my VPN, so we're good on that department.
All right, you beat me to it. UFC is going to Paramount, $7.7 billion, 7-year deal. So basically $1 billion a year. They're going the same model as ESPN with WWE. They're going to. I think today they were talking about 4 numbered UFC events are going to be on CBS. At the same time as Paramount Plus, but then the rest of them, of course, are going to be streaming on Paramount Plus. No more pay-per-views. They're not doing that. Going away from that. I mean, pretty much nowadays, pay-per-views are only boxing, and even then, like you've seen some of the recent like Canelo fights. I'm pretty sure they just spent on Days Inn that whatever subscription that is, and I think they dropped the pay-per-view for the rest of the year for those fights. So like pay-per-views are pretty much non-existent nowadays. Like it's no reason to do that. So I'm happy, like you said. I usually buy the fights, and if not, we go to B Dubs or another bar to go watch the fights. So I think it's a great deal, great move for the UFC. Paramount Plus, I agree. Like I feel like you want to diversify where you put your I guess your channels or your entertainment. So TKO is doing a pretty good job. You got Netflix, you got ESPN Plus for WWE. And then you got Paramount Plus for everything UFC. Do you think now one thing about this is like a lot of people complain about the fighters and the pay-per-view points and how that's going to look. Do you have any idea what they might do there?
No, I haven't looked at any of this. I just know that. I don't know why the fighters are honestly really concerned. They'll end up probably making more money based on viewership on Paramount than they were based on pay-per-views to begin with, because everyone's just illegally streaming them anyways. The only people paying for it are, the bars.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with the VPNs and then trying to find the right websites that don't crash my computer. Like I'm not dealing with that, so I'll pay the $80. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that do their legal streams and go that route. So um, yeah, it's gonna pretty much eliminate a lot of that. If you just have to pay what Paramount Plus is like, what $10 or it's $13 a month. So yeah, if you just pay that, you get Hulu plus you get. Don't they do? Can't you watch your local CBS stations too? So you watch the NFL during the NFL season. You can watch college basketball during March Madness. I feel like now Paramount Plus is probably looking to be one of the better streaming services.
Yeah, and they get SEC football.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like the pay per view points, I think like might just be tied to viewership. Like if you can pull, let's say if it's on CBS and Paramount Plus, like if you can pull like if 50 million people tune into like your match, like that would be better than like the 10 million that might tune in during like the first, you know, main event fight or the first fight on the main card or something like that. I feel like that's how they do it.
He'll have a strategy in order to pay his guys a fair wage in order for them to get back in the ring.
Yeah. They definitely got some kinks to work out, but I like it so far. Yeah, basically, from what I'm taking away with this is ESPN took the money that they were paying UFC and gave it to WWE because I don't think ESPN was going to pay $1 billion to keep the UFC because they've been kind of butting heads, and rightfully so. In the beginning, like it was kind of hard to buy the pay per views because they were kind of like finicky. But
Yeah,
oh well,
they're always like at best $69.99, and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
get some mid card main event, and then you're like, I'm not gonna pay for that. I mean, best fighter on the card is a ranked number 7th in the world, and then I don't know. The first 3 cards end up going to a boring decision. This doesn't bode well.
100% agree with that one. Let's move on to the NFL. I get the AFC West. Let's start with the Broncos. They made the playoffs last year with a rookie quarterback. I think it was like what Sean Payton's third season there because I think he had about 2 seasons with Russ. So his third season there, going into his fourth. Um, I don't really think they had any big additions. Pretty much they just kept their guys. They paid Cortland Sutton. I think they're just counting on growth from the young guys, from their quarterback, and then the guys they drafted. So, what are your thoughts about the Broncos going into the season, their win record, and how they place in the division?
I personally don't believe that there's anything wrong with the Broncos. The makeup of their team, I believe it's a good middle of the pack team. I don't think it's a go out and win the Super Bowl kind of team, like or anything for sure. But I could see at most a 10-win team. I would say at worst for a 7-win team. I pretty much just see mid written all over the team. I don't see I don't see big news late season that this team's making a run. I think they're just going to be studying the pace, gathering knowledge, and then growing one more year closer to their probably end goal. Also, I just don't know. I feel like Bo Nix might come into this season with more of that sophomore slump. Maybe not so that it's any kind of slump at all to him, but one more year of knowledge. Not the best scrambling / runner QB, but not the worst. I kind of would honestly like to see him scramble just a little bit more. I feel like he did have really effective legs. And honestly, him taking that ball back down and running instead in the red zone, I think could be something he works on. But again, like I said, nothing to be, writing home about. But this team will be a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, I agree. I got them about A little less than last year. I got them about 9-8. That's probably their ceiling, and then I got them about at 6 wins at their lowest if things just fall apart. If Bo Nix really has a sophomore slump. Um, I think they finished third in the division. We'll get to the Raiders, but I think the Raiders are going to finish last. So that'll put the Broncos third. Um, Not too much happened to the roster, like I said. Not too much like major overhaul. You're just counting on the younger players to develop more and maybe take the next step. I think, but in that, I think Knicks is probably going to have a slump. Not going to see much growth. Plus, their schedule is tougher. Plus, their division is a little bit tougher overall. I think everyone in the division got better. So I just think that it just won't have um, kind of like the under the radar feel like they did last year. They definitely gonna be a team that people pay attention to, and they're gonna be ready for them. And I think, I mean, you look at the schedule, I just don't see how they can scrape by and win 10 games and make the playoffs. Like I just don't think it's gonna happen. Even if everything does click right in their favor, like it's very very minimum chance that happens. On to the Chiefs, defending AFC champions, lost to the Eagles last season in the Super Bowl. For them, I don't really think they made too many other changes. They, mainly re-signed a lot of their guys. I think Kalafdis got a contract extension. I think they pay one of their guards, or I think they paid their center and one of their guards. I think they drafted Josh Simmons. I think he's a rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rookie left tackle. Yeah, they drafted him. So the old line is kind of patched together right now. That was a big problem last season. Rashee Rice is coming back from injury. I think he is suspended, right? Isn't he suspended?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still suspended. I remember hearing something about that though.
Yeah, so he's suspended.
He hasn't played out any of his trial, I don't think.
He'll be suspended. Hollywood Brown's coming off an injury. Xavier Worthy's going to second year. I think they drafted Jalen Warriors. Yeah, Juju's still there. You still got Sky Moore. I think they have enough to win a lot of games. Don't get me wrong. I don't think like if we're going contenders, like I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender this year. I think they're kind of like the Bengals in the sense that they probably need another year, like another draft year to like get back into that contention window. What are your thoughts, Lawrence?
I think this team, we'll go down it again. I would say floor. I'm actually going to make a bigger discrepancy between this team. I'm going to make it the floor 8 wins, the high 11 wins. So no, it's still a three game spread.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons being, I feel like they lose a lot more. Their schedule is still hard as it always is every year. Always got to play tough. I feel like this division overall will be playing each other in and out every week a lot harder, which will impact the amount of wins that they can have each season. Like I'm pretty confident I'm going to go in the season betting that the Raiders win one at home against the Chiefs. Like I feel like the Raiders, although they're not that good, I feel like they're going to be slept on against a lot of teams when they play. I feel like they're going to upset. They could easily upset anyone in their division: Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs at their home turf. I don't think the Raiders are going to be scaring them on the road, but at home, definitely could see it. I mean, that might be a segue into the Raiders a little bit deeper, but for me, Kansas City, it's still in that vibe of imperfect youth at proven elder positions that have a big lack of stepping up. Like, if we're going to be looking at this Kansas City defensive line in particular, I'm pretty sure they lost like all the D-line members from the years before, except for Charles Johnson. Or sorry, the Jones. Can't remember his name. Chris Jones. So outside of Chris Jones, it's pretty much a new D-line. Tight ends, we haven't seen them step up in the past years, but we've seen them like have many like baby moments. But Kelsey ain't what he once was. We need step ups. Like we need you to take the role of Kelsey at least one of these games. A few of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same floor. I think 8 wins is probably the floor. Like this team is still good. Don't get me wrong. They got a great head coach, Hall of Fame head coach. So floor is 8 wins. I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher, about 12 wins. I think if everything clicks in their favor, they could get 12 wins. But we gotta be honest. Like last year, they had so many wins by luck or just by some BS. Like the Bengals game, pretty sure the one game they blocked the field goal. Pretty sure the other game where the penalty moved the field goal back, so that's why the team missed. Like they had a bunch of games that they should have lost, and they didn't because something weird happened. So I think this is a year where those things don't happen and don't go in their favor, and then they lose those games because we can't go back to back years of these weird incidental things happening in the Chiefs. I mean, it might happen, but if you're asking me, that'd be too much of a coincidence, right?
Yeah, it can't be a game-to-game frequency like it was last year.
Onto the Raiders, the team that you said would play the Chiefs tough at home. I mean, they made some moves. They hired Pete Carroll. They took Geno Smith from the Seahawks, drafted Genty. They picked up Mostert from the Dolphins. Not too much in the wide receiver department. Like you still got Jacoby Myers, but other than that, you can't really say you got a good receiving core. You're basically building off of Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer as your top weapons. So with that being said, what do you think their floor is? What is their ceiling in this division?
Oh, their floor is 4 wins. 3 wins, 4-3. I think their ceiling
Yeah.
is six. I think 6 wins. I'll go
Mm-hmm.
7 to be nice. But no, I strangely believe that just based on the coach alone that they're going to be in a lot of games that they shouldn't, and then squeak through a couple of them because the coach. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they might play some teams midway through the season who may overall have the better team, but I feel like coaching might be that little bit of an edge, especially for like a first year head coach. For instance, I'm not saying they play them, but if the Raiders were to play the Bears have a much better team. However, I would probably give the coaching advantage to Pete Carroll over Ben Johnson.
They do play the Bears. Week 4.
Short, quick, easy wins. Like Bears, team's not fully settled in, brand new coach. Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
anything can happen first 4 weeks. People aren't giving you much love, but they're not giving you too much hate because you've been competitive in every game. New coach versus old coach, upsets.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. I'm agree with you. I think the floor is about 4 wins. I'm gonna go higher. I think the ceiling is 9 wins, especially if not just everything clicks, but if like Gino goes on a heater and plays how he did 2 years ago when he was most improved, or was it comeback player in the NFL? And he kind of you know misses the injury bug and can stay healthy for a full season, and Pete Carroll has him playing well. I could easily see 9 wins being the ceiling. Whether that gets them to the playoffs, probably not in the AFC, but maybe if you beat up on your division enough, you could maybe squeak by because you have the tiebreakers or whatnot. So I'm gonna go 9 wins. But the big thing for me is just the receiving core, like the special, like the skill guys just aren't good on this team. Like you just have Ashton Genty, and he didn't particularly look well in the first preseason game. And I know it's the preseason, but still, like you get negative yards, like that's never a good sign. So that plus the offensive line was the issue last year. It's looking like it's still going to be an issue. And then on defense, you got players, but you don't have. It's like you don't have a solid defense. Like you just have a bunch of good players, but it's not solid enough. That's my take on the defense.
I kind of would agree. There's no like absolute unit. Almost, I would just say there's no absolute unit on any point of the ball of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the only point it is tight end. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this is a team that still has a lot more to grow. And, this is a team where in 3 years, if they're not good, then we're going to start being harsh. Right now, they kind of have the right of way to be kind of bad.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Last up, we got the Chargers. second year under Harbaugh. I feel like for them, I mean, their right tackle went down, right? Slater, he's not going to play this year, so they got Joe Alt moving to left tackle. Most likely, Pepkins the third is going to be the right tackle, unless someone can beat him out, or like you said last week, they make a trade for someone's good second string right tackle, and try to make that work. But all in all, I think that the Chargers, have a good roster. They have a really good head coach who we've seen in the past can get the most out of players. So, with that being said, do you think where do you think the Chargers place in this division, and what's their floor and ceiling?
So for me, I think that the Chargers should win this division.
Oh,
I feel like they get the little bit of an easier route this year in terms of who they have to play. Definitely in terms of strength of schedule, I'm not really thinking that the Chargers have much to worry about. The schedule does not line up extremely hard for them not to win a couple games. And I feel like this year, in comparison to last year, one more year of the head coach, one more year for the team to build itself together. I'm hoping for a little bit better defense out of them. Harbaugh's supposed to have good defensive teams. I'm hoping for a little bit of an upgrade. I know we did lose Joey Bosa, but there were also many games last year where I don't even remember Joey Bosa checking into the game. So as long as the secondary holds itself up and keeps teams to scoring less than 24 a game, I think Herbert can win pretty much. I'm going to go ceiling 12, 4 or 9, and that's where they should end up. It's just beating out for number one against the Chiefs, which I think the week 1 game will have more implications than we think. I think game 1 ready, I feel like the Chargers are going to be ready game 1 more so than the Chiefs. I feel like Chiefs are going to be one of those teams where they kind of get it together halfway through, not halfway, a few weeks into the season, but they had that ability, to warm up. They got rid of some of their, they got a rival early, week 1. The win or lose doesn't look too bad. Then they have an easy win week 2. Then they got I think it's Ravens week 3. So the Chiefs, they're going to be kind of,
they got the whole division in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to struggle early out. So losing week 1 against the Chargers, we're going to be looking at it. We're not going to be thinking that's that big of a deal. For the Chargers, it's going to be looking like a huge morale boost. And then they pretty much just get Kansas City, win it. You turn on the jet because you can easily beat the Raiders. You just got to put it together. But I still think you might be scared. Then you can put it on Denver. If you're 2-0, you can easily get another one out of Denver at home. Then you get to beat up the Giants, who aren't going to be that good. Then you got to play Washington. That might be a struggle. You might lose that one. It might be your first loss of the season. That's fine. Then you get Miami. I would give it maybe a 55% chance to win if every team is looking right for the team. Then you got the Colts. That's an easy win. Minnesota, that could be 50-50 now because coming out of there, McCarthy's not looking that great. Then you got Tennessee. That looks like an easy win. Pittsburgh, that's going to be a tough win, but should be a win. Then you got Jacksonville, who might scare you because they did have that, big-ass comeback turnaround on you in the playoffs, which has mentally affected you and probably will in that game. So maybe you lose another one, but we're talking about 2-3 losses here. Come on, the Chargers, the schedule is not hard. And last year we saw that the one problem was they had one good number 1 wide receiver in McConkey, and they got no one else. And they got someone else who shows up every once in a while. Well, now they got Keenan Allen to be a strong bet, slot number 2, whichever one you want to put him at. I think you got to put him at slot because, Deontay Johnson, or is it?
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnson. He can't be in the slot, so he's going to be on the outside. Yeah. So Keenan's going to have to go to the inside unless McConkey's going to go to the inside. But there are little ways to play it. But I think Keenan can. I don't know. I feel like this team can win those games that Johnston steps up. If he plays like he was drafted, I think they can. If he plays like he did last year, they won't.
Sounds like you're high on the Chargers. I mean,
It's
I'm
just more
high,
so the
but
coaching. I feel like the coaching really should turn things, and we just keep saying every year that Herbert is really good. Like Herbert's really good. Like he on
Mhm.
paper, everything he looks really good. And then there's always an excuse for why he's like not made that next echelon good.
This is true. I mean, I've always said Herbert's at least a tier two quarterback. There's no way for people, no reason why people would mention him in the top four with the obvious four guys. So it didn't make sense to me. So I think this. I mean, hey, if Harbaugh can get the best out of his players, and you've seen him, be really good with a lot of quarterbacks, I think this is the year that we'll see if Herbert's actually that guy, or if he's just, maybe just just like a Jared Goff type quarterback, where he's really good, but he's not that good. He's not like a super good guy. But yeah, I got them the same floor and ceiling as the Chiefs. I just think that they'll get off to a better start than the Chiefs. Thus, we looked at the schedule early on. They played the division in the first 3 weeks, so I think that's 3 dubs in the division the first 3 weeks, and then that puts them at a good starting point. So they'll probably win the division just based off of tiebreakers and stuff. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 9 as the floor, 12 wins as the ceiling. I think because of their right tackle going down, I don't think they can make a huge playoff push, but they definitely, like, if I had a bet, I would have them going further than the Chiefs in the playoffs. Um, I mean, I think Najee Harris will help. I think drafting Hampton is also a very good pickup. Harbaugh loves to run the ball. We'll see how the run game looks with your starting tackle, missing the season. Maybe the run game is still good if you can run between the tackles. I don't know what type of runner Hampton is. I think at North Carolina he could do everything, but this is a pro, so we'll see which does he like prefer in between the tackles. Does he prefer to run off the edge? Like, we'll see how that goes. So um, all in all, I think they're a pretty solid team. Like you said, Quentin Johnston has to step up. He's a first round pick out of TCU, right? And to me, he just doesn't. I feel like the motor is his biggest thing. Like, he just doesn't have a high motor. Like, I
I
feel
feel
like
like his
he.
hands are the biggest thing because he doesn't know how to use them.
Well, that
Sorry,
too. I feel like
sorry.
his route. I feel like for me, like, his routes are lazy. They're not crisp. He gives away where he's going when he runs his routes, and then, like you said, like, his hands, like, he drops a lot of balls. So hopefully that's something he worked on, because I think those are the two biggest things.
And dang, are they the biggest? Because boy, does he drop everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. So we'll see how that goes with them. There's one injury I wanted to share. Landon Dickerson, Eagles guard. Beginning today, they were sounding like he might be out the whole year. Turns out, I think he just has some meniscus injury, so he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. But he's planning on being back on the opener. We'll see if that really happens, but um, it's huge if they don't have Dickerson, because I mean he's a big boy. He's definitely the reason why I say Saquon got 2,000 yards. Like, that offensive line is a beast. If you don't have one of your best offensive linemen out there, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. Although I will say the Eagles' backups are not slouches, so I think they could probably be okay without Dickerson for like a week or two. Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, you're so right when you say that because like it just goes back to like why is this team allowed to have everything so good, and then like
Mm-hmm.
and they're able to pay it all, yet other teams just can't figure out the system. It just kind of bugs you, because
Oh, it does.
awesome first string, and then all of a sudden you lose one. Oh, it doesn't matter because the second guy, like he was just a first round pick anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see how they keep getting away with it. And no other team is copying them, so it's a mystery. Um, I did want to touch on the preseason. Your takeaways from preseason week one. When the Bengals played Thursday, I think they played well. Joe Burrow played 2 series, scored on both drives. Defense didn't look good, but there's some promising things I caught out of that. That I think the biggest thing of the defense was just guys not being disciplined, not being in the gaps. That's basically what I saw. But there were some bright spots. I think Stewart played really well for the limited reps he had. So I think it's promising. Any thoughts on the Panthers? I think you guys played the Browns, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think Shador looked all that good. I also don't. I won't say he looked all that bad. I mean, he didn't. Obviously, he obviously scored a touchdown, but
Two.
I didn't think he looked all that good. He did a lot of mental errors, but it's fine. It's game one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't see the point of even starting Flacco like week one of the season. There really isn't. You might as well just start. Your honest opinion should have been starting whatever young rookie, and then if they look really bad, pulling them and then putting Flacco in, and then reasserting them at some point in the season because you're not going to get Flacco one more season. He's going to retire at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Shador, I agree. He didn't look amazing, but I think what Shador did with having very limited like first team reps, like he was basically out there with the threes and fours for most of training camp. What he did starting in that first preseason game, I think, was impressive in like in that aspect. But I did see a lot of mental errors, like holding on to the ball too long, like he did in college, like not going through his reads fast enough. But like when everything clicked on those few couple plays, like he was slinging it. Like I mean, you can't like disagree with that one. So he made some good throws. It is the first week, so I think from now on he's getting first team reps until Gabriel I think gets a little bit healthier or whatever. So for what he did and how they try to do him with like giving him like shit reps and then throw him into the fire, I think he did okay.
I mean, I agree. I think he did all right, but I also think just watching that game, there's no way to. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be electric, but he's gonna make plays happen just because he can, and that's simply something that
Mm-hmm.
Flacco's not gonna be able to do. And let's face it, your wide receiving core isn't even
It's
like
bad.
top 20. It's like not even a top
They're
20
bad.
wide receiving core. So it's not even like Flacco. Okay, one thing if like okay, maybe we need a good gunslinging, perfect, accurate quarterback because we have Dawson Jefferson on our team and we need to make sure he gets the ball. No, our top guy is Jerry
Mm-hmm.
Judy, and he's not even on NF. I wouldn't even say he's on the top 100, like like last season. So he's
Yeah.
still outstanding number one wide out. A bunch of number threes behind their number two. Just let the young guy go out there and make plays happen on his feet and keep you and yourself games that way.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Last thing I want to touch on college football. The preseason AP Top 25 poll came out today. Texas is number one. Arch is starting this year. I don't know if you heard, but his granddad already said he's going to play another year after this. So I guess you got listed the grandpa. So you got presumably 2 more years of Arch at Texas. He played well in the games that he came in for. Ewers, uh, Penn State's two, defending champs at three. Clemson is four, and Georgia in the top five. So what is that? One Big 12, one SEC, one ACC, or no, two Big 12s, right? Or Big 10s in the
Too
top
big.
four.
Oh, yeah, that would yes.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the preseason top 25 poll?
Uh, in quite honesty, none. No, I don't think any of that means anything until I'm going to say about week 3 or 4. Because in all honesty, they'll put Alabama at number 5 or some crap, like in years past. They lose the first two
Mm-hmm.
games of the season. They're on the board at like number 20 in the country with an 0-2 record. It's like I get it. Maybe they are like they're doing the 20th best team in sports, but you can't be putting an 0-2 team in the top 20. Sorry, not
Yeah.
sorry. But no, I'm not going to take much from it. But I will say that, on the little vacation we're taking, there will be a pretty important matchup for later in the season, which will be Iowa State, Kansas State. And there are wranglings
rumblings that this Iowa State team, could make a big push for later in the season. And then we have Kansas and Fresno State that same, we're going to say that same opening weekend, Saturday. And Fresno State was notorious last year for getting blown out. And Kansas has a lot to prove this year because they were supposed to be much better than they were last year. And I think they did a good job bringing most of the team back together. So they should be able to put at home a big stomping on Fresno State. So I don't know, maybe we're looking at a parlay while we're down there that Iowa State, the team that's supposed to be one of the competing for the championship at the end of the season, on the road against Kansas State at 12, and then Kansas to blow out Fresno State at 6:30. There's a little parlay thought for you on the opening weekends. Got a little bit of.
Doesn't Kurt Warner's son play for Fresno State? He's a starting quarterback, right? They just announced that, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's cool and all. I just know what they got done dirty last year. They got their ass beat every other game. I think it was a historical, like one of the historical worst.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Kurt Warner's son is going to be the starting quarterback. So
we can also finish the day with Hawaii versus Stanford. That's some degenerate stuff, but Stanford wants to show up in the ACC this year. You got to win those road games.
And the ACC, other than Clemson, I think it's up for the taking. I think even some of like the mid-tier teams, like my Hokies and Belichick's in North Carolina. I'm not expecting them to do a whole lot, but I feel like the ACC's wide open besides Clemson for that second team.
I also agree with that. I don't think ACC has any. I don't think they have any heavy hitters. Do you want me to be honest?
You're not believing this Clemson number 4 ranking? Like, you think they're going to slip?
I don't think Clemson. I haven't believed in Clemson in a while. Not until Clemson shows me something. The last couple seasons, Clemson just hasn't looked, nasty enough, good enough. Miami, I can't believe in Miami. They just had a lot of things leave. Maybe SMU. They could sneak in. They could, I guess, maybe scare a couple. No, there's just no one in this conference that's going to strike fear. I think SMU has a good chance to make some noise. Ooh, is that one guy from Syracuse still the quarterback? Because that could be slept on.
No, that guy got drafted. Remember, he got drafted in like the 4th or 5th round. Yeah, he's out of there.
Let me see. One sec. Let me look at this Georgia Tech team real quick.
Georgia Tech was the other team I was thinking, like the Hokies, Georgia Tech.
They still have Haynes King, so I think they could be pretty good. Haynes King did have some good games every once in a while. He just didn't really know how to put a whole season together. Should be his senior season, so he should have to. Well, this is his last chance to put it together.
Yeah, we'll see. The ACC they have a lot of teams, but like you said, not a lot of heavy hitters. But we'll have to see. Anything else before we head on out? I think that's pretty much all I got.
No, that's all I got for me.
All right, everyone. We're going to head on out. WWE Raw is on, and we got to catch it. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify. And with that being said, guys, we will see you later this week. Peace.